guys, what's going on? I'm going to show you how to change out a speaker. So if you want to fast forward to that section, here's a timestamp. If you want to hear the background, then keep listening for a couple minutes. So I recently picked up a Friedman Dirty Shirley 40 watt and got the matching cab. It has a M65 Greenback speaker in it by Celestion. I really like the speaker. It's very similar to the Greenback, but can handle more wattage, which is great, and I'll get into that in a minute. But it sounds really good. Now, granted, it's an open back cab, it's a 112, etc. Well, I have a love for orange cabs, and I've got two orange cabs right there. Now, this top one has G12H speakers by Celestion in them, and the bottom one is stock V30s. And I thought, you know what? Why don't I see if I can get one more Greenback speaker, and I'll mix the bottom one, and I'll have a Greenback and a V30, and we'll see how that sounds. Now, reading up on the forums, I saw that the H75 Greenback was a really good mix with the V30, but I thought, you know what? I'll try the 65. I like that speaker, you know, to each his own. So I got one. It came today, so we're going to throw it in the cab. We're going to see how it sounds. I'm going to do kind of a before and after clip. So you're going to get the full-on two V30s. I'm going to mic each one with an E609 by Sennheiser. And then we're going to do a combine with the Greenback and the V30, and then we'll isolate each one so you can hear it. It's actually a pretty easy thing to do. If you want to change out a speaker, Orange makes it very easy. They don't solder anything. Everything push on, pull off. Based on experience, Vox does similar things. I know some of the Maces I've had were all soldered. Different companies, different ways of doing things. The push on, pull off tabs make it really easy to change it. All you need is a drill, the Phillips head generally. I like this right angle because you can get into open back cabs very easily or just around different things. You are kind of locked into however much lead wire they give on the speaker cable from the input-output jack to the speaker itself. Oranges, from my experience, are usually pretty good with enough wire, but you never know. Couple things to note when you're going to change out a speaker. Make sure you're matching the correct ohms. Do not put a 16 ohm in an 8 ohm speaker, 8 ohm, 4 ohm, 4 ohm, 16 ohm. Do not do that. Two 16s, two 8s, two 4s. Do not mix them. That's very important. Depending on how you wire them, it will make different options. Orange makes 16 ohm cabs, so both speakers are wired together to make 16 ohms. They are two 8 ohm speakers. In this case, 8 ohms equals 16 ohms. So the V30 is 8 ohms. I purchased the Greenback 8 ohm speaker to put in that cab. So there's the cabinet. So now what we got to do is take out all the screws. So we're going to take out the perimeter screws first. Make sure you have your drill set accordingly, your bits in. You don't have enough torque, you don't need to really work on, but we'll take all the screws out first. Now, sometimes cabs can really fight you. I do like to take off the back plate because it helps leverage, get the back off. I've never taken this cabinet apart, so I'm sure it's not going to be the easiest thing to get off, so we're going to take this off. Obviously, this goes without saying, make sure it's unplugged first. Put your screws where you can remember where they are, and this is where you got to muscle it. You can stick your hand in and pull. And that actually came off pretty easy. Now, you're only going to be as far away from your cab as this will allow you to go. So these cables, actually, they gave you a pretty good leeway, so you can actually take it all the way back. Now, you have two speakers. Both of these are 8 ohm speakers. Together, the way they are wired makes it 16 ohms. This is very important. So if you're going to change your speaker out, make sure you're getting the right ohm. If you don't get the right ohm and it's a mismatch, you're going to have many more problems. So again, 8 ohm together makes 16. So if you need to, when you're in here, make sure you remember, again, if you're going to mismatch speakers and they're not going to be the same, make sure you know where you want them to go. I know that orange starts with an O over here and ends with an E over here. I'm going to remove this speaker because Greenback comes before. So I'll always remember that the E is the Creamback and the O is the Vintage 30. I don't know. That's just the way I remember. If you need to draw a little thing on the back of your amp, make sure you know which speaker's which. But now you have to take out these 4 screws that hold the speaker in place and unwire it. So this left side is the positive. So I'm going to unhook this. Should just pull right off. You really want to make sure you're not too hard on these things. Kind of wiggle it until it will come off. Do the same thing with the orange. Okay, now this speaker is disconnected. So orange is negative, white is positive. We're going to take the speaker out and get the Creamback. Try to be very careful with your speaker because the cone, which is this black thing, can damage really easily. So you want to make sure you're gentle with your speaker. Okay, so now I got my new speaker. Here's the Creamback. As I said, it's an 8 ohm, 65 watt capacity. So it's the G12M, so the M65. So I'm going to put this in. You can line these up wherever makes sense to wire this. So I'll put it in here, line it up with the holes that are provided. Now, they offer a lot more places on some of the speaker rims to put these in than you may need. So pick out some good ones. And really, it's just going to be based upon your wire. If your wire is really long, you can put it wherever you want. I'm going to face the tabs toward each other, so it's uniform in the cab. I'm going to line up my screws and then screw back in. If you need to, I mean, you can always wire it, make sure to work first. Slip the white on the positive, and the orange on the negative. Now, I did buy this speaker used, so there is a little bit of residue from where it was soldered from the prior owner. Make sure they're good and on there. Again, reverse your drill. It's going the right way. Screw them back in. Just check your speaker. Grab the metal, not the cone. Just make sure it's on there. Light popped off. Put that back on. Now we just put the back on after you take your drill out of the cabinet. Make sure your connection is still good for your other speaker. Everything's good and on. Set this back on. Hopefully you did everything correctly. Now you can look through this hole and double check everything's still good, but it should be fine. I'm going to put this guy back on and then screw each of these back in. And then we're going to plug the OR50 back in and give it a listen. Okay, so learnings. So what you just saw was how to replace a speaker in a cab. So I mic'd it up. We're going to do a before and after clip, talk about it. So here we go. First up is the V30. So what you just heard was both V30s. So now we're going to listen to a combination of the V30 and the Creamback. Isolate the creamback now. Isolate the V30 now. As you can hear, there are some pretty big differences between these two speakers. So it's actually a really neat option to have both. I will tell you, in the room, it sounds very well balanced. Not a lot of highs, not a lot of spikiness. The V30 sounds really harsh to me now after hearing the creamback. So I personally really like greenback speakers. So when the creamback got re-released, I was really excited because I really like greenbacks. I use a lot of 212s nowadays. I do have a Mesa 412. I like the mic up a lot, but anyway, it's a really cool option. The creamback speakers are really cool. Check them out. V30 is also good. If you'd like to see another how-to video, please let me know. Leave your comment below or message me. I hope this was helpful and informative and you got to hear something new. Thanks for watching. Many more videos to come. Don't miss one sub.